a little bit more knowledge. And we'll start with Marjorie. You want to give a couple of sentences about yourself?
Hi, Michael and everyone. My name is Marjorie Melvin. I'm one of the executive board members of the San Gabriel Valley section of the National Council of Negro Women Incorporated, and just here to learn all I can to help myself and to help others within our section to be the best they can be at Zoom.
Awesome. Wonderful. Welcome, Marjorie.
Denise?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Denise McFeeters, very similar to Marjorie without repeating all of that long title. Same organization, same board. Wonderful to be here. Thank you, Reverend Mike, for hosting us in the training. My goal is just to learn more about Zoom as well. I can set up a meeting, but if things go wrong, I can do a little bit of troubleshooting, but I'd like to be equipped to help out as well and to expand what I'm able to do currently.
Absolutely. Welcome, Denise.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Beverly?
I'm also a member of the same group, in addition to being the chairperson of the Pasadena Commission on the Status of Women. I just like to be able to reach a point where I'm not saying, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I want to remove that from my vocabulary. It relates to Zoom. Okay, so that's where I am.
Welcome, Beverly. And my intention is to support you in that intention.
Hey, Lois?
Hi, good evening, afternoon, everyone. I, too, am a member of the National Council of Negro Women, the Athens Westmount chapter, or section we like to be called. I am the second vice president, recently elect, of the Legacy, Life and Legacy Guild members of NCNW. And I'm here too to learn all that I can learn about Zoom, because this is the way of the future. It used to be called, what it was, the new norm, or the new Zoom. We're all about Zoom. So I'm being Zoomed.
Yes, indeed. Well, welcome, Lois. And of course, we live in a virtual world already. The future is here. It is right here, right now. So my intention, yes, go ahead.
More. Elizabeth?
One more, yes.
Yeah, Elizabeth, you're muted.
Yes. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Campbell. I too am also on the executive board for the San Gabriel Valley section of the National Council of Negro Women. And I'm on this Zoom call to also learn more about troubleshooting with Zoom and other ways to really support others in using it as well. I know how to use Zoom, but there's always something new to learn.
And never get enough knowledge.
Great. Well, welcome aboard. And this session is designed to be interactive. So if you have questions, I've built in space to be able to take your questions and have a little bit of interactivity as we go along.
Okay, Leslie, you want to give 2 sentences about you?
Hi, yes. I'm a tutor and I tutor on Zoom, but there's just so much to learn. Screen sharing and whiteboards and control. And when I give them control of the whiteboard, somehow I lose control. I don't like that at all. So I'm not sure what the focus of this meeting is, but I'm happy to learn whatever I can. Thank you so much for including me.
Well, thank you, Leslie, and welcome aboard. This has been designed for a base level of understanding. However, I'll be able to facilitate, questions about greater detail. So we've got time built in for your questions as we go along.
Okay.
Great.
All right, it's all you, Mike.
Awesome, awesome. So welcome aboard, everybody. This is Zoom Meeting Basics, customized class for NCNW, of which you all are members. And on our next slide, we'll take a look at the course outline for the first half of our course. I'll give you an overview on Zoom accounts, the different types of Zoom accounts, their limitations, and the types of meetings that you can set up with these different accounts. Lesson 2 will cover how to join a Zoom meeting. And I added a couple of other modules there to talk about how to join a meeting via email, through an email link, and also how to manually put the Zoom meeting ID in. So we'll show you a couple of different ways to join a Zoom meeting. Lesson 3 is how to schedule a Zoom meeting. We understand that some of you may be on a Mac, some may be on a PC, some may be using Outlook or Gmail. So we'll take a look at how to add those meeting invites to your calendars, the various customization options that are available to you, and also answer any questions that you might have about scheduling a Zoom meeting. Lesson 4 will cover some of the in-meeting controls. As you know, Zoom has been updating and adding some different options, adding different features to your in-meeting controls. These controls are important because, as you may have witnessed, sometimes a Zoom meeting can actually get a little unruly. And if you've never experienced the phenomenon known as Zoom bombing, and that's when nefarious individuals get your link and then they come into your room with the intention to disrupt it. Well, in lesson 5, we'll show you how to control your visitors as a host. Some of them, if they misbehave, you can put them back into the meeting room or actually into the waiting room, or you can even permanently remove them from your meeting. So we'll cover those 5 areas, have a little time for Q&A, and then we'll move to part 2, where we'll discuss in lesson 6, virtual backgrounds, how to set up a virtual background. Lesson 7, we'll talk about sharing screens, various ways to do that. In lesson 8, we'll cover breakout rooms and how to reorganize them, how to move people around in your breakout rooms. Lesson 9 will cover how to record a meeting locally to your local computer or to the cloud, and some of the options that are available in that feature set. And then in lesson 10, we'll look at the chat functionality and the file transfer functionality. So that way you can send a file to your meeting attendees. And as I mentioned, this was intended to be a basic Zoom meeting, but if you have questions that are a little bit more than basic, I'll do my best to accommodate them. Just before you all join, Annette had an advanced question about, like, how many people can you actually have on a Zoom meeting? And what we discovered is that now they have a Enterprise Plus functionality that allows you to have up to 1,000 people in one meeting.
Wow.
So yeah. So, you know, the information is always changing, and with technology, we'll find that we're always learning how to learn. So with that, let's get started with our first module. We're going to cover Zoom accounts, how to join a meeting, and then how to schedule a meeting. So Zoom accounts. The first type of Zoom account we'll take a look at is the basic or the free Zoom account. So anybody can go to zoom.us, download the particular type of app that they need, if they have a Mac, if they're on a phone, if they're on a PC, and they can instantly start a Zoom meeting. The limitation of the basic account is that it's unpaid and you can host a meeting with up to 100 participants. However, if 3 or more participants join your meeting, the meeting will automatically time out after 40 minutes. There are no added functionalities like the account add-ons, such as the large meeting or webinar functionality. You cannot access those with the basic or free account. However, there is a pro account that's licensed by paying an annual or monthly fee. And the licensed user is paid, and the monthly subscription, I believe now, is $14.99, something on that order. You can host unlimited meetings with up to 100 participants. You can also purchase large meeting licenses for additional capacity, if up to 500 users. Now, if you need to do this on a regular basis, you probably would be better getting a business account or an enterprise account. But if it's just one time, you can also purchase licenses for up to 500 people. They allow you functionality to record to the Zoom cloud. That saves space on your local computer, so you don't have these large files. You can give somebody hosting and co-hosting privileges. You can also assign others to schedule on behalf of your account. So that means that, you, for example, if you had an NCNW account, you could assign others that could do scheduling and scheduling on behalf of the various hosts for these meetings. The other account types include business accounts, education accounts, and they also have what's called enterprise accounts for corporate entities. Any questions about the different types of Zoom accounts? Yeah. Okay. If you have a question, feel free to raise your real hand or your virtual hand. And I'm going to ask Annette, since she is already trained on how to be a co-host, I'm going to ask her to monitor that chat room for me. And right now I'm going into the participant pane, which I'll show you in just a moment. And I'm going to make Annette the co-host of this meeting. So
Well, I have
yes.
one question,
Yes, Lois.
and I don't know if it's too early to ask it or not, but the difference between a meeting or a webinar on Zoom.
Yeah, so a meeting is like what we are having now. This is a meeting. Even though it's a training class, I deliberately structured it as a meeting so it could be interactive and we could have a conversation. If I was doing a larger class, I might set it up as a webinar. And in that way, I don't have to worry about people unmuting themselves. I would have a technical host like maybe Annette helping me, and she would manage unmuting people. She would manage the chat room. If somebody came into our webinar and they were disruptive, maybe they started playing loud music, as the co-host, she could immediately go in and put them back in the waiting room, or she could remove them from the meeting. So for a webinar, you want to have more control over the meeting, right? And typically it's for a larger number of people. But if you're having a smaller group, like informal, like we have, it's okay to set it up as a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Is that information helpful?
Yes, I just assumed something else though.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty much up to you. And of course,
Okay.
you do have to have the pro account in order to set up a webinar.
Yes.
Okay. Great. All right. So let's go to lesson 2, how to join a Zoom meeting. So one thing to note is that every meeting has a unique 9, 10, or 11-digit number. It's called a meeting ID. That meeting ID is required to join all Zoom meetings. So when you launch your Zoom meeting, your Zoom application, you click the join meeting button, which is our second option. You'll see the interface that says, please enter the meeting ID number and your display name. Your display name is the name that people will see on the screen when you're in the meeting. So in this particular meeting, my display name is Coach Michael. Annette's is Annette Spence. You can change that if you are already logged into the Zoom app, and you can even add additional information to that display name, such as facilitator, host, trainer. This will help your meeting attendees to know what your function is. And perhaps you would have your co-host even add co-host to their meeting name. As the host, I can actually go in and I can edit the name for Annette. And now you see that Annette is now showing co-host as her default display name. So you can do that on the fly. If you have meeting attendees that sometimes, you know, they'll show up with their phone and it'll say Galaxy tab, it'll say, right, AT&T or Verizon, right, whatever name is on their phone or their computer, you can actually go in and rename them. Any questions about joining a Zoom meeting from this way?
Coach Mike?
Yes.
Okay, so when I joined this meeting, all I did was click on the
link.
on the link. I didn't do any of, okay, so.
That's a perfect segue to the next screen. I did not pay Beverly to ask that question. She, but thank you, Beverly. Thank you. Right? That means all of you received a meeting invitation, just like the one that's on the screen now. It has a unique link, and in that link is the meeting ID that I just mentioned, and also embedded in the link is the password. Now on the screen, you can actually see the link, and then right beneath it, there's a meeting ID and there's a passcode. Zoom has now required that every meeting has a passcode. The reason was that they were receiving so many complaints about Zoom bombers who were scraping the Facebook and social media, finding all of our Zoom meetings, and then they just set up a playground where that's all they did all day was go and Zoom bomb people's meetings. So they've required now that there be a password. One thing to be aware of is that if you publicly post your meeting ID, you want to make sure that everybody joining your meeting goes into that waiting room and that you validate them. You make sure you know who you're letting into your meeting rather than just let everybody in. Because, you know, it's Halloween season coming up, so you could be letting the monster in, you know, right? You just want to make sure that you don't have imposters joining your Zoom meeting. So once you click that unique link, you'll see the launch meeting request. It'll say click open link on the dialog shown, and you click the blue launch meeting. If you have the Zoom application already installed, you don't have to reinstall it. I've had clients who, every time they get a Zoom meeting request, they reinstall the client over and over and over. You don't need to do that, right? And if you have done that, you can go and delete all the different instances of Zoom that you've installed on your computer. Once you click that launch meeting button, you'll be taken into the meeting. You'll go into the waiting room where the people who invited you will see you and then be able to let you in. Any questions about joining a Zoom meeting from email? Oops. Great. Okay. So lesson 3, how to schedule a Zoom meeting. So there's about 6 to 7 steps for this. The first step is to open up your Zoom application, where you will see the interface that allows you to set up a new meeting, join a meeting, schedule a meeting, or share a screen. We're going to select the blue schedule button because we want to schedule a meeting, and then we'll see the schedule meeting interface. This will allow us to choose the topic of our meeting. In there, you can name your meeting whatever you want to call it, NCNW training meeting, what have you. You select the start date, the duration of the meeting. It can be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, in 15-minute increments. You can establish whether this is going to be a recurring meeting, or if it's just one time. The meeting ID can be automatically generated. Or if it's going to be a regular meeting, you might choose to put it in your personal meeting room. Your personal meeting room has an ID, and that'll make it easier for your participants to be able to find your meeting room if you're having regularly scheduled meetings. That way they don't have to, you know, struggle around looking for the meeting ID. They know what it is because it's going to be the same every week. You can decide whether you want the video on by default. how you want the audio to be, if you want people to join by their computer and telephone. And finally, at the bottom, you can decide which calendar you want to put the meeting invite on. If you're on a Mac using Outlook, you can choose Outlook Calendar, or you can use the Google Calendar, which is Gmail. If you have another type of calendar, you can also choose that button. And I have not scheduled it for another type of calendar, but I'm assuming it's going to work the same way that I'm about to show you now. So once you have all those details entered, you click the Save button, and you will then see the next option, which is asking you to choose the email account that you want to send the meeting invitation from. So if you have multiple Gmail accounts, for example, you'll see multiple Gmail accounts in this list. You select the one that you want to send the invite from, then you have to give Zoom permission to access your account, and this will be every time. In order to do that, you click the blue Allow button, and you'll immediately see the invite about to be placed on your calendar. So here's the screen where you get a chance to modify the meeting date and time if you need to change anything about the meeting. You can also invite your guests by clicking the blue guest field, and you enter the email address of anyone that you want to invite to the meeting. You can update any final meeting details down in the bottom. And once you have those details entered, you click the Save button, and then you will verify the Zoom meeting details on your calendar. And as you can see at the bottom, this is how your invites, your meeting invitations will appear on your own calendar. It's a good way also to verify that you sent the meeting invite out, because sometimes you could get interrupted in the process and you'll see the meeting in Zoom, but you go to your calendar and you don't see it. And that just means that you didn't follow all 6 of these steps to place it on your calendar. Any questions about scheduling a Zoom meeting via email?
I have a question.
Yes, yes, Beverly.
Okay, so if, let's say that I'm only going to schedule a meeting for, like, only going to schedule a 40-minute meeting. I can do that even though the meeting is only going to last 40 minutes. I don't have, I mean, it just so it's under 40 minutes, that's a free account.
That's a free account, right? You could schedule a 40-minute free meeting, yes. But it will cut off at 40 minutes.
Oh, it will?
Yes, it'll cut off.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you'd have to make like another meeting, to pick up after that one, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Great.
Okay.
Mike, I have a question.
Yes, Denise.
You made reference to a Gmail account. Does it have to be a Gmail?
No, it would work for Outlook as well.
Okay.
If you have another email provider like Ymail, you'd have to test that out just to see how the interface works, because they have these, they call them APIs. It's an application programming interface. It's like code that they've set up that's embedded in Gmail. And so it allows the application to automatically pull up the email account. But they may not do that with Yahoo, with Ymail, with the other email service providers, right? So you just have to test it.
Okay. I have a Gmail, but I don't use it generally.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Lois. Yes. You have a
Hi.
question?
So, yeah, a little complicated question. Can you use both accounts, 2 accounts, and would that pose a problem?
Now,
Like,
do you mean 2 email accounts?
Yes, like if you had an Outlook, well, you want to serve, say you want to serve your customer. So you say, I'm going to set this up both in my Outlook account as well as my Gmail account. Can you do that?
You can do it, but you have to go through this process twice. One time
Okay.
to put it on Gmail, then you go
Okay.
back and you put it back on your Outlook. But
And then does it become complicated to manage that at all for
no,
one person? No?
not necessarily. No.
Okay.
No, no. I have both, but I use a calendaring app called Calendly, and it does it automatically for me. So
Oh,
that makes it, and that's a subscription service that I pay for. But
okay.
it does embedding because some of my clients are on Outlook, they're on Macs, and
Right.
so I want to make sure that I put it on the Outlook calendar and send it. Great question. Thank you.
Coach Mike,
Yes, Beverly.
so if I wanted to practice setting up a meeting, can I do that and then cancel the meeting because I'm just practicing?
Absolutely. My grandmother used to say, practice makes permanent, and you can play with this to your heart's delight. Just create, meeting invites, put it on your calendar, delete them, go in, change it on the calendar and see, does it change it in, back in Zoom? The more you do it, the more familiar you get with it, and then the more confident you are, in doing it.
Okay.
Great idea. And I tell everybody I did not pay Beverly to ask the questions that she's asking. Great questions. All right. So in our next module, we'll cover the in-meeting controls and also how to control visitors as a host. So in-meeting controls, there are a lot of them, and I'm going to break them down into bite-sized chunks. You can see these if you're in the Zoom app. Down at the bottom of your bar, you might have your control bar at the top, but it's the same one. It's the one that has your mute and your stop video button on it, right? So the first button to mute and unmute your microphone, that allows you to turn the microphone on or off. If somebody's in your house and they're calling you, you can just mute yourself and say, yeah, wait a minute, I'm on Zoom. And then you unmute, unmute yourself again. Also, you'll notice that right next to it, there is a up arrow that allows you to access audio settings. That's on the screen right here. So you can select where you want, which microphone you want to use, which speakers you want to use. You can also test your speaker and microphone, before you go into the meeting. If you wanted for some reason to switch from the computer audio to maybe your phone, you could then switch to the phone audio. You could turn the computer audio off for advanced purposes. Sometimes I'll have multiple computers and I'll turn the computer audio off on one of my computers because I don't want that feedback. You know how you hear the sound coming from both computers if you've ever done that? So you can actually leave the computer audio on your second computer. And then finally, there's the audio settings, which allows you to go in and raise the volume of your microphone, for example, or you can do other audio settings. The next button next to the mute button.
Wait.
Oh, I'm
I have
sorry.
a
Question. Yeah, yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
The other day I used the headset and I changed the setting. I want to put it back to regular. I clicked on that little arrow when you were there. And it's select a speaker and it's got a check mark by speakers, headphones. I don't want headphones. I just want regular audio.
So then you just select the other option. You uncheck it and check the next one.
Wait a minute. The next one says same as system, so I should check instead.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me go back.
And do you have speakers on your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it'll come out of your speakers then.
Thank you, because I had a problem with that today during tutoring.
Oh, okay, great. Glad I was able to help.
Yeah, how do you like that? Thank you.
There you go. So your next button is your stop video button. And of course, that turns your video off or on. If you are attending a meeting and you need to get up for any reason, you could turn off the video and then you start the video again when you come back. There's also an up arrow right next to it, and that allows you to choose your cameras if you have multiple cameras. You can also choose a virtual background, which as you see behind me, I've got the CyberSafe background. You can talk about that a little bit more in detail in a future module. We are going to cover that today. You can choose a video filter, which is an advanced function if you're using green screens, and of course, video settings. They've added some additional video settings just recently where you can turn on touch up. If you want to touch up your appearance, you can smooth out any wrinkles or frowns by using that functionality. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Right.
good.
And
And
then,
you can play with that also.
oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, try it out.
You can also, you can practice, okay.
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
practice.
Go in there and try it out. There's one that says use HD and turn HD off. That's high definition. So try that just to see what the different look is. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So continuing on the in-meeting controls, the next button is the security button. When you click the security button, you'll see that you have the ability to lock the meeting. That means nobody else can attend your meeting after you've started. You can enable or disable the waiting room. You can allow your participants to share their screen, to chat, to rename themselves, or unmute themselves. So Lois, to your question about the meeting and the webinar, this will allow you to have a meeting where you set up webinar controls, right? So you might want to disable chat and mute functionality if you're going to be doing a class and you don't want to be interrupted, and you've told people, ask me your questions by typing them into the chat, or at the end we'll cover the questions. So this gives you webinar controls in a meeting, which is, pretty cool. So I encourage you to practice, with these, like play with them so that you can get used to them. Yes, Denise?
If you don't, I don't have a security. Mine goes from the up arrow for after stop video to participants.
Okay. And do you have a free account or do you have a paid account?
I have a free account.
You have a free account. Okay. So then what we've just learned is that the security functionality only comes with the paid accounts.
Okay.
And as I said, we're always learning about this because they change the code on a regular basis. Like you might log into Zoom one day and find like a new button, like the reactions button is new. That they just added that recently,
Well, I've never used it, my laptop, and that asked us to use the computer, and I normally use my iPad. So this is totally, I didn't know what was going to happen today. So it's not too bad though.
Yeah, it's good getting familiar with all the functionality.
Right, all your devices.
And then the next button is oh yeah, Leslie? Yes.
Screen sharing, because I've started using that with my students because they can log into their school programs.
Yes.
But sometimes I totally lose control. Is there a way, and then I can't even get it back into my security to stop the screen sharing?
So you see where it says allow participants to share screen, right?
Right. Yes.
So you can make sure that that is unchecked so they cannot share the screen.
Right, but once I check it and they've shared it, do I totally lose control?
Well, you only allow certain individuals. We're going to cover this in the next module, but you only allow certain individuals the right to share their screen. And you'll grant that in the participants pane. We're going to see that in the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll show that to you. Great question. Next is the chat window. We're going to see that also on the next screen. There you can send messages to everyone or individuals in the meeting. Of course, we've got the record screen. We have a lesson on that. Breakout rooms, that's where you create private meeting rooms inside of your meeting. And reactions is where you can share your applause and thumbs up in the meeting. And finally, the more button, it contains advanced features on live on Facebook or live on YouTube options for real-time live broadcasting. So those are advanced functions. We'll cover them just briefly. Any other questions about the in-meeting controls? Okay. All right. So now let's look at the control visitors as a host. So this is where you can open the participants button and view these options here by clicking more. So you click the more functionality, and of course you can start or stop your participants video. You can pin the video, which means that you spotlight their video on the screen. In the case of a teacher, someone who's delivering a lecture, you might want to spotlight them so that everybody sees their video in your meeting. There's a request camera control, which is also called far end camera control. That's where you control somebody else's camera. Allow recording, where you allow them to record the meeting. You can make them a host of the meeting or make a co-host. Only time you would want to make somebody a host is when you were like gonna maybe leave, or if they're taking over certain functionality, like for breakout rooms. For me to allow Annette to set up the breakout rooms, I'd need to make her the host. And then I would stay as the co-host. And again, you can send them to the waiting room, or you can remove them from the meeting. Now, in this version, let me just double check and see if they have added this. They have okay, I'm gonna go to the participants, and I'm gonna go to Leslie and see if I can allow you. No, no. Okay, so they moved screen sharing out of participants. It is now in the security tab. So yeah, so you have to go into, have to go into the security tab and allow participants to share the screen. There is a way that you can go into your actual interface on Zoom, and you can set it up in there that only the host can share screens. And then I believe in that scenario, you would have to go in and allow somebody else. Let me just see if this is it right here.
It's okay. That's not exactly the issue. I'm working with this, and it's like sometimes they just don't give it back, and I want them to be able to use it.
Yeah.
So it's like I totally don't want them to block it.
Right, but you want to be able to control it so you can get it back.
Right.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Any questions about controlling visitors as host?
So, so this must be if you have a pro account.
Yes.
Or cheapy.
Yes, right. Not for the basic account.
Right. Okay.
Right. These are advanced functions, and they to motivate people to, go ahead and pay for the pro account, right? Okay. All right. So we've covered the different types of Zoom accounts, the basic and the pro, virtual meetings such as the webinars and versus meetings, how to join a Zoom meeting and join a Zoom meeting via email, to schedule a Zoom meeting, in-meeting controls, and finally control visitors as hosts. Any questions about any of these areas before we move to part 2?
Not a question, but more of a commentary.
Yes.
You're making everything look really simple, and it's really more complicated than all that. There's lots of places, and it's really, but you're doing a really good job, so thank you.
Good. And the key to this is practice. That's the key to it. It's practicing. It's just doing it, and setting up meetings, even with people on your team, because the more you do this, like the more familiar you get with it, and then it becomes kind of like a second nature. Yeah. Yes, Lois.
So just some kind of unclear. So I want to know if Lisa's question was that she allowed her students to share their screen, but she can't get their screen control back from them. Is that what she's saying?
Is that what you were saying, Leslie?
A little bit, yeah. At one time, I actually had to shut down my whole computer and reboot because I lost control of everything on my screen. from having them on the screen sharing. And I didn't know if it was because they took control or my computer. I have no idea.
So my question, the other part of the question is then, if she could have had a way, and this is being mean, but it's me, okay, to put them into the meeting room,
Yes.
go back from them,
In the waiting room, yes.
and put them in the waiting room in order to gain control back,
Yes.
and then let them back in.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Very good idea, Lois. So you see, this is easy. That's a great idea. Yeah, yeah. Put them in the waiting room and, you know, let them time out.
Yeah.
Right? You know, it's like they go to the corner, right? It's like, you know, and then you recover your control, and then, you know, you let them back in. Say, okay, now we've got this under control. Very good. Very good.
Mike, right
Yes.
now, the only people who show on the screen are people who are talking. Otherwise, we don't see everybody.
Okay. So
So
that,
how do you do that?
yeah. So there's an option to show active speakers, or you can show the gallery view.
Where is that on the?
It's in the
Where is-
upper right-hand corner, and you will see it as a little box, and there's like little icons. One says thumbnail view, one says small speaker view. The next one says thumbnail videos, and that'll show everybody small. And then there's gallery view, which shows everybody. So the one that you were talking about is speaker view, and that's the one where the active speaker shows up on the screen.
So, okay, I don't see on my screen what you're talking about.
Are you on a PC?
No, I'm on a Mac.
Okay, you're on a Mac. Okay. So
And so normally it does appear up there, but all I have right now is the share screen, the part 2 of the advanced lessons. I don't see anything that would let me do a gallery view.
So in the upper right-hand corner.
Oh, wait, there we go.
Yep, there you go. See those little icons? And those are how you change your view.
Okay, so that's speaker view.
There you go. Speaker view, that's the person who's talking. The next one is grid view. So that means that'll show everybody in a little window. And you might have to drag it down a little bit just so you can see everybody that's in the room.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to practice that because I can't.
Yeah.
I'm still not seeing everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You'll play around with the little arrow. There's a little arrow at the bottom that you can drag down, and you can make your grid view larger or smaller so you can see everybody. You can fit everybody in.
Okay. I'll just play around with that.
Great. Great. So we're at part 2 already. Advanced lessons. We're going to cover virtual backgrounds, sharing the screen, and breakout rooms. So first, virtual backgrounds, as we saw, when you click the up arrow next to the video where it says stop video, that up arrow will allow you to select your camera, choose advanced video settings, or choose your virtual background. You can upload an image, such as my virtual background. You can also use a video. I have been in meetings where people put videos of the Caribbean beach, you know, the wind blowing the trees in the background, the palm trees and the waves coming in. That's really cool. So you might want to even experiment with that, finding a nice virtual video background that you can put in the back. Annette's got some really cool outer space ones. She's got the Ubuntu one, you know, with the little kids in the Ubuntu circle. It's really very cool. So if you have a green screen, it'll allow you to get even more sophisticated with these virtual backgrounds. Okay. Zoom does recommend using a solid color background, preferably green. Any questions about virtual backgrounds?
I don't know if it's appropriate with this computer. When I went there, it only says none, but it has a check in the box for I have a green screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, uncheck that then. You could uncheck the green screen.
Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind.
You got something in there now? There you go.
I have the
Right.
same problem with this computer that my equipment's all too old. Annette knows.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just have to,
Yeah.
I need to buy a new iPad. Found out I have to buy a new laptop too. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. The laptops used to last us like 4 or 5 years. Now, like every 2 years, you need a new one practically,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Well, I'm about at 3.5, so.
Oh, yeah. It's time to go.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
All right.
I do want to say that I have had problems trying to get a background myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if perhaps my computer, laptop is old as well.
How
But-
long have you had it?
About a year.
Oh, about a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you should be able to show a virtual background.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll play
absolutely.
with it some more.
Lois,
Okay.
mine just said that this computer does not meet the requirements. That's why I said that. So
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
something I know.
Yeah, it'll tell you.
It just told me.
I think that's what mine says as well.
Mm-hmm. So you click the little up arrow next to your video, and then choose virtual backgrounds, and then when you go in there, it'll show you some virtual backgrounds that you could choose, and then you just click one.
Oh.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
Hello, you went to outer space.
So you,
But I don't see myself clear though.
yeah, you need a brighter light. You need a brighter light.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what it is.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty.
Okay.
I'll
Cool.
leave it for now until I can hook it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so mine did work. It did work. See,
Oh, it did work.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go. Mm-hmm.
I don't like any of the choices
Oh,
that
I
I
see.
have.
I gotta play with my light.
There you go. Right. Right. There you go.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. How do you get out? Oh, I can't get rid of it.
So click none.
I love it.
To get out of it, yeah, you just click none. Mhm.
Okay, I'm good now.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Great.
Oh my,
Yes.
my.
I don't like to click things. I'm afraid I'll mess something up. And I'm in worse
Yeah.
shape.
I don't see any virtual backgrounds. I'm clicking, but I don't.
Are you on video?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take myself off.
So it's the up arrow next to your stop
Right.
video. Mm-hmm.
Right,
There
got
you
it.
go. You're good now.
You got
Oh,
it?
no.
You see it?
I love the San Francisco.
No, I mean, I'm clicking on it. Maybe I'm doing
Okay, I gotta get my light
Mhm.
together.
Yeah, don't click the stop video.
Yeah.
Click the arrow that's right next to it.
Let me see.
it, and it goes to FaceTime,
Oh no. Wait a
choose
minute.
virtual video and video settings.
Annette, this is where I'll be practicing.
Okay. So try your video settings.
Why you're not doing it now?
Did. Huh.
And now in video settings, do you see your virtual backgrounds?
Oh, look at it. Oh.
I don't see any.
Um,
I'm doing something wrong.
yeah, so under settings, you should see it says general, video, audio, share screen, chat, and then background and filters.
I see general video, audio, share screen, virtual background, recording,
There you go, virtual background. That's the one.
and I
Yep.
click that.
Yep, select that.
I did.
Now you'll see your virtual backgrounds on the right.
Little pictures.
Yeah, they're little pictures. It says,
One says none.
Yeah.
There's about
mhm.
6 of them.
No.
I got mine to work.
Did you? Oh, well.
Yeah, see that?
Mhm.
The blue
Okay.
behind me?
So we can take a look at it afterwards and maybe,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
we can
I
see
will.
what it is. Mhm.
Yeah, I will.
So
Yeah.
we're at lesson 7
Oh, my,
now
my.
about sharing your screen or
Okay.
content on your screen. And this is your share screen button. You select that up arrow, the green arrow, and it will ask you to share your entire desktop or a specific application window. So if you have a PowerPoint presentation, it'll appear here. You highlight it in blue and then you click share. Also, if you share computer sound, if you're showing a video, it will then play the sound of that video through your computer. Instead of it going through your microphone, it'll come through the computer. So that's how you, question?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes.
For the sound, okay, where was that at?
The sound is at the bottom on the left.
Oh, I see.
Yep, it says
It's
share,
tiny.
share computer sound.
I need two glasses on.
Yep.
Okay, I see it.
Oh, so if you, I know you use that for video. but
Right.
if I want them to hear what's on my computer sound, I have to click that button when I share it.
Yes, absolutely.
I had a problem with that too. Thank you.
Yep, there you go. All right, so we're running across some stuff, right?
So mine says that the host has disabled the
Yes.
attendee screen sharing. So that's-
Exactly. So I didn't want Zoom bombers coming in playing videos that we don't want to see. So I disabled that functionality.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Okay.
So we're already at lesson 8, breakout rooms. And breakout rooms are basically private sessions, private meeting rooms that are split off from the main Zoom meeting. So they allow your participants to meet in smaller groups. They're isolated in terms of their audio and video. They also cannot see the chat from the main room. So you can use the breakout rooms for collaboration, discussions. People can go and ask questions, and then they come back to the main room, and you will then have large group discussions. You can pre-assign your participants or just click breakout rooms. You won't see that unless you have a paid account and you have to enable it in your account interface. You can select the number of rooms you want to create and how you want to assign them. Easiest way to do it is just say automatically. So you could just say assign 6 participants into 2 rooms. It'll automatically put 3 people in each room. And then when you click the blue create rooms button, what'll happen is that you'll get an interface here that lets you choose your options. You can move all the participants into the breakout room automatically. You could allow them to quit their meeting and come back to the main room at any time. You can set your breakout room to close automatically after a predetermined amount of time. So if you want 10 minutes, it's up. And then they will also have a countdown timer. And you can set the countdown timer for 30 seconds, for 60 seconds. That's usually enough time for people to thank their partners and, you know, to say, oh, let's bring this to completion because they're calling us back to the big room. So they'll see a countdown timer, and then they'll be able to return to the main room. Also, you see at the top where it says breakout room 1 assign. If you click assign, then you'll see all of your meeting participants and you can assign them to the room that you want. That's in case you want to do this manually. Okay. And you can exchange.
Could I have a comment?
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
not. So you choose those options depending on, say, your subject matter. So if the subject is basically the same topic, you can do automatic. But if you got different topics that you want to have discussed, then you would assign.
Well, usually the way that we would do it is sometimes in a meeting we have facilitators, and we might want to have one facilitator in each breakout room. So let's say there's 12 people and I want to put 3 people in each room with a facilitator. So then I would set it up automatically, and then I move my facilitators, you know, assign them into each room.
Different.
Right, so that each room has one facilitator in it, right? So that's what Annette's going to be doing for us for our next Ubuntu circle, right? She'll be setting that up automatically for us, you know. So it's really easy once you see it. And I would invite you that at your next meeting that you just allocate 5 or 10 minutes to say, hey, let's just do some breakout rooms just so we could see. And then set them up with 2 people in each room, you know, for 5 minutes, just for people to go in and do maybe an icebreaker, you know, just for them to go in and talk, like, you know, and you ask them a question like, you know, what's one thing that you're really grateful for right now? You know, and then you send them into the breakout room for 5 minutes, let them talk with each other, you know, and it's very energizing, because a lot of times when you have a meeting, you'll notice that people are already zoomed out. They're like, oh my God, another Zoom meeting. But this will get the energy moving, you know, right? And it gives you one-on-one contact with somebody. So yeah. Any other questions about breakout rooms?
I've never done any of that.
Ah, okay. Well, maybe we'll get a chance to set up one if we have a extra minute
As
here.
a participant or an organizer, I know about them. I don't think I've ever been in any of them.
Oh, okay. Well, the last
You
two.
will last week.
Pardon?
Didn't hear you.
It's
And
coming. You
Mhm.
will.
Yeah. I think we got about 7 minutes remaining, so I might be able to set us up with a short breakout room in just a second. So let's look at recording a meeting, which is really interesting and easy to do. So cloud recording, meaning they take your recording and they put it on a server in the cloud, is automatic for all paid subscribers. So when you click the record button, it'll ask you, do you want to record to this computer, or do you want to record on the cloud? Then all of your video, your audio, and your text will automatically be recorded in the Zoom cloud. At the end of the meeting, you will then see the video being uploaded. And it usually takes about twice the meeting length. So if you have a 40-minute recording, it'll probably take you close to 40 minutes to get that whole thing uploaded, depending on the speed of your internet. So you just wait until it gets done, and then you can send everybody a link so they can see the recording, you know, via their web browser. So this comes with the paid account, and easy to do. It's just one click. You can also pause it. One of the recommended practices is to ensure that everybody's okay, you know, with recording your meeting. Any questions about recording a meeting to the cloud or locally?
No, but I just want to share that I take classes through Mount SAC.
Yes.
One of the teachers was recording the class for whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I downloaded it on my computer. It took up so much space, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think I downloaded 2 or 3 recordings. So I don't think it's stuff you want to put on your computer. I didn't even know what was going on, and I had to remove them.
Yeah, the files can be pretty big. They can be pretty big. There'll be several gigabytes for an hour class. So yeah, that's the reason why they offer this to the cloud, so that you can record it on the cloud. Then it doesn't take up your personal space. Okay. And lesson 10 is chat and file transfer. So to access in-meeting chat, just click the chat button and it'll automatically open up the chat window. And if you do that now, you can see that you can type a message into the chat box, or you click on the drop down next to to, and you can send a message to a specific person. If you haven't had a chance to do chat, I'd invite you to take a look that I enabled chat. It's on. So I'll just type a message to everyone. This is to everyone. And oops, I guess if I learn how to spell, there we go. And then you can also select certain people if you want to. There we go. Awesome. In-meeting file transfer means that you can take a file and you can send that file to everyone in your meeting. Start a meeting, you click chat, and then in the chat window, you'll see the little file button where you can send a file from your computer to everyone in the meeting. You click.
This is in the chat?
Yes, this will be in the chat. I have disabled file transfer in my client. Yeah, I run some meetings that have experienced Zoom bombing. And so we've got that disabled as a security function. But if needed, I could always go in and enable it before I set up my meeting. And then I'll, send like a copy of the handout or something to everybody through the meeting.
I attended one meeting that was actually a program. Organization that my friend does an event every year. Of course, they had to do it on Zoom.
Yes.
And they were bombed, and it was awful. It was in the chat room.
Yeah, yeah.
Nasty, awful words, and just repeat over and over again. It was like, and the weird thing is my friend who organized it used to have a computer consulting company. But she was organizing the event. She had paid somebody to do that, and they didn't block them.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's unfortunate.
it was really ugly. So it's good to block all that stuff.
Yeah, it's good to have control of your meeting. Absolutely. Okay, so we have any questions about any of the part 2 class, the virtual background, sharing screen, breakout rooms, recording meetings, or chat and file transfer? Any questions? No?
I know some people who put their own pictures on their virtual backgrounds. Is there a way to do that? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All the pictures you've seen, those are mine.
That's beautiful. The one you have showing now is just, all of them are nice, but that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like the water feature.
Absolutely, absolutely. This background here is the road to Kumasi. This is in West Africa in Ghana.
Wow.
We were going to Kumasi, which is the Ashanti Kingdom capital. And it was very lush and verdant. I mean, the green was just, it was so beautiful. So I love to remind folks, to put it on your bucket list, right? To make your trip back to West Africa, yeah. And maybe Annette will take us on a Vibrant Seniors tour, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
August 2021.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So it's been an honor to host you today. I am always available. Just want to also give you my contact.
I have a quick question.
Yes, Lois.
So to access your personal pictures, you do that from your Zoom, from your photos?
Yeah, virtual background, and then you just click the button that says search the computer. It says it is a plus sign. So you click the plus sign, and then that will allow you to go and search your computer.
Where is that?
That is under virtual backgrounds.
I got you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure that you have my contact information. Also, Annette, if you need to get it and you can't get access to this video, we are going to make this available to you as participants. I've got my email address, website, phone number, and we also offer a CyberSafe class, which is teaching you how to stay safe in cyberspace, protect your phone, your computer, and it comes with a little certification. So you take a exam and you get certified, and then you can put this CyberSafe badge everywhere to find folks how to stay safe in cyberspace. We all need it, believe me. So, so it's been an honor. Are there any questions before we close out?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much for everything.
Thank Annette for setting this up. This was visionary leadership, indeed.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Great teamwork. Great teamwork.
Our next meeting, I'm going to choose someone to set it up.
There you go. Right.
So be ready.
Well, let me know how I can support you.
Okay, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. All righty, I'm going to go hit my next meeting.
Thank you so much.
Peace
Bye-bye.
and blessings, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye for now.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.